So the first card we're going to make tonight is with Sending Smiles, all right? And so what I'm showing you tonight, you're going to have cards like this similar in your share box because you have 5 make and takes for our private class. So this one right here is the Sweet Sorbet. And then we've got Tahitian Tide. And this is the Starry Sky, and this is Orchid Oasis. So we're going to be making the Orchid Oasis tonight. I don't have any more of the Parakeet Party. Okay, so this is the one that we're gonna make. I'm so glad you like this. Thank you. So just in case you're not familiar, this is from Sending Smiles. It's in the very front of your new annual book. And you're going to find it on page 14. Okay, so you're going to find it right here. Now, it's very appealing because it's using the new in colors. All right, so immediately, you know, you're drawn to it. I know I am. This card right here is just drop dead gorgeous. I just love that. So this is Sending Smiles, page 14, if you're looking for it, okay? I know I had to have that bundle too, Tina, as you can see. So I was in a meeting this month with other demonstrators. Stampin' Up! Had offered, had an online, a virtual meeting for us. And the lady the demonstrator who demonstrated this set, she had created 18 greetings or sentiments with this stamp set. So you've got sending smiles across the miles, sending all the good luck your way, sending sunshine to brighten your day. So anyway, 18 greetings out of this one stamp set. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it's nice to know that about certain stamp sets because then we know that we're going to get a lot of mileage out of it. And that's really what we want when we buy a stamp set, right? I mean, we want to get as much mileage out of it as possible. So you can certainly do that with that stamp set. And it has coordinating dies. All right, well, this is a super easy card for us. It has a Whisper White card base. And let me go ahead and zoom in here a little bit. And this card is measuring 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And then we score it right at 4.25 inches, all right? And I'm gonna use my bone folder so that we can make this nice and what do I want to say, crisp. We'll burnish it. All right, and we're going to use this piece right here and we're going to stamp on it, and then we're going to attach it to this layer. Now also, if you've been with me for a while, then you know that I love the Scalloped Contours dies, and they are in the annual book. Okay, hi Cheryl. I've had some new folks join. Hi, Terry. Hi, Angie. All right. Hi, Diane. Okay. So, Scalloped Contours dies. If you're not sure where it is, let me know. I can give you that item number. And we're going to start stamping here. I'm going to start with the words first because once I put the words in this corner, then I'll know about where to stamp the flower. Okay, so let's start with some Orchid Opulence ink, which is right here. And I can even zoom in a little bit more. Now, the words here, just thinking of you, is from the Flowering Tulips bundle. And I believe I'm saying that correctly. I'm saying the stamp name correctly, the stamp set. All right, so we're just going to stamp this right here. All right, so that's the first thing you want to do. And then we're going to bring in our Parakeet Party. I'm going to move this just so I don't get ink everywhere. And of course, this is from the Sending Miles stamp set. And then we're just going to catty corner this. And I should probably be using my pad under this photopolymer stamp. So that's Parakeet Party. And then I'm going to bring in the Orchid Oasis again, because that's the color that I want my flower to be. Okay. And there's just this little space. If you look at, this is the space right here where the stem is going to go. All right. So we'll just put that right there. And then we have our flower. It's so easy to stamp. And there's several flowers in the stamp set. And then our last thing is we're gonna take some Daffodil Delight to do the center. Now, if you don't have Daffodil Delight, you can always use crushed curry. All right, that would be a great alternate. And then I'm gonna be stamping that right there in the center. I love the center piece. I want you to get a good look at it. Look at that little seam that's right there in the middle. I just love that. It makes it very realistic looking. I want to measure this piece of paper for you because you probably have these scallop dies, and you're going to notice that the paper fits right within these dotted lines. Hopefully you can see that, okay? So let's measure the Whisper White paper, basic white now. It is 2 5/8 of an inch by 3 7/8 of an inch, okay? So that's about the size you want so that it will fit into this scalloped rectangle. And by the way, I am about to run out of some seal here. I'm getting super close. So I'll change that when that happens. And then we're gonna center it right between, whoops, not ready yet. We're gonna, got it up. All right, hang on. I got stuck too soon. All right. So we want it between the stitching, all right? So that's what we're gonna do, and I think I got it. All right, now I like to add dimensionals to this to pop it up and just give it a little bit of dimension. Hi, Nita, welcome. So, oh, I know, this is a great stamp set, yeah, to do multiple cards. Oh my gosh, and they're cards throughout our annual catalog, you know, ideas and stuff, so definitely. Oh, Deborah, I'd love to see your swap. Deborah said she's working on a swap right now. All right, so I'm going to center this on this basic white card base. And there it is, and we're gonna give it away this evening, okay? Now, let me go back, and I wanna show you the other cards, okay? This one right here is the Tahitian Tide again, and there's Starry Sky, and here is Sweet Sorbet, all right? So there they are, and we'll be giving that one away this evening. And now we're gonna bring in the cup of tea, all right? Move things around here. So the cup of tea we used as another make and take card. And if you do have your annual book, it is going to be on page 12. It is actually the very first suite in the annual catalog, all right? And what I love about this suite and what Stampin' Up! Did was they created coordinating designer paper that's their end colors. Look at these end colors. They're end colors, and then they've added crushed curry into the designer paper as well. So this is Tea Boutique. It's photopolymer, and it has the words and the cups, and it has dies that coordinate with it, as well as the designer paper. Now, what you may not see, I know in this suite is so awesome. Over here at the top of 13, You're going to notice some card bases with coordinating envelopes. Ladies, there are 20 cards in this package for $10. We're basically talking about 50 cents for a card base and an envelope. And in my share box, when you sign up for that, you're going to get one of these in each color. And that's what we're going to use for our cards for our class that night. So this is just such a wonderful, wonderful, deal. It's just a bargain. So please keep that in mind as you shop. You can certainly make all your cards are already cut and they're already pre-scored for you. Okay. So I'm going to zoom back out. And of course, we're going to make this card, and then we'll come back to this another night as well, because there's lots that we can do with this. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here. And this one, the card base is Tahitian Tide. And then we used the Stylish Shapes, I believe is the name of this, and you're going to see this in the final project tonight. This is a circle with stitching, and these are brand new. You get circles, banners, and squares, okay? And I'm going to show you that in the next project. Here's the teacup cut out with our in color designer paper. This is the Tea Party designer paper. And again, I've used that scallop contour die. I just love it. I just love using it on cards. It takes up space, and then I can put something on top and finish it off with a sentiment. All right, basically, that's what you do. So Tahitian Tide, and then we've got Starry Sky right here. And this is Parakeet Party. And this one is Orchid Oasis. All right. Now, I don't have it in Sweet Sorbet. It came up missing when I packed up my open house supplies. So I don't have it in Sweet Sorbet to show you. So we're actually going to create it tonight in the Parakeet Party. All right. And we will give this card away as well. So the card base this time is Parakeet Party, just like I told you. And I'm going to go ahead and get a nice crisp score line right there and move that aside. And then I'm going to bring in the designer paper. It's so cute. I think I've got everything here. Again, I've done the very same thing. Remember that basic white piece that we stamped on and that I measured for you? It's the same size as the designer paper. I'm just adding designer paper now. And this is the back of the paper. Isn't this pretty? All right, now I am officially out of seal. So I can replace this. And excuse me as I go ahead and change this over. I know, I love the tea set. It is precious. And really, honestly, I love anything to do with tea and coffee. And my customers will tell you that. I mean, I just love both. All right. And I just noticed, here I am changing my refill. There is, look at all that adhesive right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that out. And I'll tell you something else I do to clean these, and it works great. I will take Goo Gone, okay? Hopefully everyone knows what that is. If not, I'll show you the bottle. It's called Goo Gone. You get it at the Dollar Tree. And it takes the adhesive off of things. So I'll use that sometimes to just clean this up. And it's like brand new again. All right, I think we're ready now. And now let's advance that and get that going. So sometimes the adhesive will get caught up. And so what I do, and I showed everyone this last weekend, I'll just take my thumb and I'll advance the adhesive. And when I pull on it and advance it, then you've got the adhesive again. And I have found that to work really well. All right. So again, we're just going to put this designer paper right in between all that stitching. All right. Okay, you're right. The parakeet party does remind you of lemon lime twist. I so agree. I remember having that color. Yeah, I know. It's nice to have that back in our color palette, isn't it? All right, I'm going to take some dimensionals. We're going to go ahead and pop this up. And then we'll add it to the parakeet party card base. All right. Alrighty. And then here's my parakeet party right here. And we just center this just like this. Super easy card. You could make 25 of these very easily. All right, so now we're gonna add our sweet sorbet circle. And I'm only gonna add it to 1/2 of the circle. All right, I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit. There we go. And then that adhesive, I'm going to make sure it's sticking to the designer paper. And I'm just centering it. All right. Then we take our teacup. I've already cut it out. This is the new in color designer paper. And you can use either side of this cup. All right. I'm going to pop up the cup. I know y'all are shocked that I'm popping this up. This is the best part about stamping sometimes, are these dimensionals, right? All right. Now for our next project, when we make the totes, you might want to take some notes, okay? I've got some measurements coming up for you, so you may need that. So now we're going to do some stamping. And I've already cut these out. I had cut these out for my customers for open house, so that they didn't have to worry about the big shot. I wanted them to be there just to enjoy the catalog and each other's company. All right, so this circle right here, see that stitching? It's from the new stylish shapes, and I'm gonna show you those next. This is the smallest circle, all right? Now the stamp set is coming from the tea set, and I'm actually gonna stamp this in the parakeet party. And hopefully I'm going to get it right in the center. There we go. Oh, I know, aren't the bright colors awesome? I know, I love them too, Yvette. I think you go by Yvette, so I'm going to say Yvette. All right, so there we go. It just gets popped up, all right? And so that was the card that we created, the second one at open house. Isn't that fun? All right, so let me show you the others real quick, just in case you decide to make them. By the way, we'll give that away. All right, so here's our Orchid Oasis, Starry Sky, and then Tahitian Tide. All right. And I use different in color paper for each teacup, but this was so fun to make. This is my personal favorite piece of designer paper right there. All right. Okay, now we're gonna get ready for our big project. And so let me grab the measurements while I'll grab some other things to get ready for this next one. All right. All right. Thank you, Joanne. I'm so glad you like the card. All right, let me zoom in a little bit. You all can do a screenshot of this if you want. All right, I'm trying to make it all straight for you. All right, I'm gonna move some things around so that we have some space here, okay? Okay, does everybody have that? The paper moved anyway, didn't it? Maybe the camera moved. But this is I'm going to explain the directions when we get down here because it gets a little almost sketchy. Okay, I kind of have to show you. It's kind of hard to just, just write the directions for that. Okay, So I want to show you some samples from Open House, okay? And then we're going to make our tea boutique bag. So the first one I'm going to show you, and I'm going to move this out of the way. This will be posted to my blog by Friday, and I will, I'll put a notification on Facebook, okay? All right. So this was one of the totes that I created, and this is in the Sweet Sorbet, okay? And then I created this one. This is Parakeet Party, okay? I love all these bright colors, so fun. You're gonna notice that I tried to use a different pattern each time. Here is the tote bag. If you look inside, okay, like that. And also a standard card will fit in here. So you could create this tote and then put 4 note cards inside, okay? Here is the side. This is the tricky part, but I'm gonna show you how to do it, okay? Step by step. Thank you so much. And then here is the bottom, okay? And we'll talk about the ribbon in a bit. This is that organdy glitter ribbon. So we'll talk about that too. All right, here we are in Tahitian Tide. And I used another pattern. And then this one is in Orchid, Oasis. A different pattern. And then this one is Starry Sky, okay? Oh yes, Louise, that would be perfect. You could hold your stamping supplies in one of those, absolutely. The totes are awesome, and I'll tell you why. You can display the designer paper for your customers, and when your customers can see that paper, it makes such a difference. Okay, so I'm just carefully putting these away, and now I'm going to show you some more. And I'm trying to think of the name of this paper. Is it called Hues of Happiness designer paper, or is it Happiness Abounds designer paper? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, last year I gave these as my Mother's Day gifts, and I had their gift inside. I can't remember what I put inside, but I probably put some note cards and something else, okay? So anyway, can't remember the name of this. It's the Happiness Abound Suite, okay? And this paper is to die for. And this one, the sides and the bottom, this is Night of Navy, all right? All right, get ready, because I have a bunch of these, all right? And I will take pictures of these, okay? This next one, I actually used polished pink with it, which is last year's in color. So you'll see that on the sides. All right, that's another one. I got a little carried away, I must say. Here's another one. I used the stamp set, Happiness Abounds. Thank you, Deborah. Deborah said, and thank you, Bess, Hues of Happiness designer paper. I could not think of the name of it. This one I used Granny Apple Green, all right, for the handles and for the sides and the bottom. The next one is Coastal Cabana, and the same designer paper. I mean, it was just gorgeous designer paper, so yummy. This one here is done in Starry Sky. I think it's Starry Sky. All right, so here's another one. And the next one is done with Melon Mambo. And if I'm not mistaken, look at this one. This is Gorgeous Grape. If I'm not mistaken, this is the same sheet of paper. One side has this on it and the other side has this on it. I'm pretty positive. It's been about a week since I made these, so. But, you know, they're a little bit time consuming, but this is the way, when something is time consuming, the best way to do it is to cut all your pieces at the same time and then do your assembly, okay? Instead of cutting one at a time, assembling, cutting one at a time and assembling, okay? All right. So does everybody have a favorite? The Coastal Cabana is Peggy's favorite. I know, look at gorgeous grape. Isn't that awesome? They're just so pretty. Okay, so for tonight, we're gonna do one with the Tea Boutique designer paper, okay? So I'm gonna bring in my supplies. And the first thing I wanna share with you are the Stylish Shapes dies, okay? Now, these are important because this is what we are going to use to cut the handles of our tote bag. So we're going to do a totally different handle. Haven't done this before. The reason we're doing a different handle is because this handle is Stitched Shapes, which is retired, and the layering oval inside, which is retired, okay? So that's why I'm not gonna use this handle. You can use any set of dies for your handles, okay? But we're gonna do the Stylish Shapes tonight for our handles. I've cut one out, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like, and then we'll see how it turns out, and we'll see if we like it tonight. But right here is what we're using, and I'm going to show you how to cut that circle out, okay? I know, aren't they fun? Okay, now the paper we're going to use tonight is this piece of paper. I love this paper, and do you know the teacup card we just made? Those teacup cards can go right inside of this tote bag tonight, and then I have a nice gift for someone. And let's see, so you get your circles, you get your stitch squares, and 4 banners. This is Stylish Shapes. It's page 50 and page 175. And the die number is 159183, and it's $30. Okay. So before we cut our handles, let me show you the dies too. I have them right here. You get 15 of the dies, okay? So that's what they look like. I'll move that aside. And now we're gonna be ready to do some cutting. So I decided that, hi Simone, how are you? This is one of my favorite pieces of teacup paper. Okay, any of our new in colors are going to match this, okay? It was a very difficult decision as to which color, but I've decided to go with Starry Sky, okay? So that's what we're gonna go with. And now the first thing we're gonna do is, here are the measurements. Hi, Rosemary. We're gonna cut the designer paper. It needs to be 6 inches across and then 4 1/4 inches tall, okay? So let's do that first. We're gonna bring in the paper cutter. I have water on my paper cutter because I was drinking a bottle of water. We already know that the designer paper needs to be 6 inches across, and this piece of paper is 6 inches across. So these totes are great with the 6 by 6 inch paper, okay? Now we're gonna rotate this cardstock because remember with the box, let me grab one. This is the 6 inches, okay? So we want our teacups to go across. We don't want our teacups this way on the tote. So if you have directional paper, you do need to watch out for that, okay? All right, so we're good with the 6 inches across. So now we're gonna rotate it and we're going to cut it. And let's just measure one more time in case my measurements were wrong. It is 4 1/4 inches tall, okay? So we're gonna cut it at 4 1/4 inches, okay? And it really doesn't matter which end we cut. And then I can use this. This is a 2-inch piece, and I can use this for something else, either on a card or embellish an envelope with it. So this is going to be the size of the tote bag. We have to do the same with the other piece. 6 inches across. We want the teacups going across. And then we're going to turn it, and we're going to cut it at 4 1/4. Because that's how tall the tote is going to be. All right. So 6 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And this is going to be the tote bag. All right. So that piece is done. Now our next piece is going to be the bottom of the tote bag. Okay. So I'm going to use Starry Sky. And have I cut this piece? I may have already cut this piece. I have not cut this piece. All right, so the bottom measurement needs to be 3 inches by 6 inches. All right, and I had cut that side, so that's 6 inches. All right, so 3 by 6 inches. Then we're going to score, and we're going to score it along the 3-inch side, and we want to score it at a 1/2 inch. There's my 1/2 inch there. I'll see if I can zoom in for you. 1/2 inch is right here. Now we're scoring. Okay, got that score line done. And then I'm going to go over to 2 1/2. And I think we'll be ready to score again. I'm just checking my measurements to make sure that I'm right. So this right here becomes the bottom of the tote bag. Okay, and we're going to use some tear and tape. And actually, let's just go on and get that on now while we're here. All right. So you want to add that tear and tape right along that score line. All right, just like that. And you can see here that that's your score line. And we're going to do that again right along here. Okay. All right. So that part is done, and now we're going to work on the sides. So let's bring in the measurements, and we're working on the sides of the box, okay? So we need 2 of those because we have 2 sides. Move this out of the way. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cut it. Let me see, that is 4 3/4. So I'm going to start and I'm going to cut it at 4 3/4. All right. Just so I did it this way because I didn't want to waste paper. So 4 3/4. And then it needs to be 3 inches. And then I need a second one at 3 inches. Okay. And that gives me the 2 sides that I need. Okay, next step. We're going to score at a 1/2 inch. So let me check my notes. I want to be sure that I'm telling you correctly. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to score on 3 sides, not 4. We're scoring on 3 sides. And by the way, this is also a 1/2 inch measurement, and I'm going to use this one. That's what I usually do. I like that. And we're just scoring. So that's one side. Second side. And third side. Okay, so just 3. Let's go over here. We're going to do the very same thing. 1, and you just rotate your cardstock. 2, and 3. All right, so far, isn't this very doable? Hi, Becky. What do you think, ladies? Is this doable? It's pretty doable. All right, now, here comes the tricky part. Thanks for sharing, Becky. I'm really going to zoom in this time, and I'm going to bring in a ruler. And I'm going to measure, and this is 3 inches wide, okay? So I'm going to bring in a pencil. Now I want you to notice something. Let me zoom out so you can see those score lines. We have a score line here. We have a score line here, and you probably can't see it because of the lighting and the dark cardstock. And then here's a score line on this side. So we're going to put a little tick measurement at 1.5 inches. All right. The reason I put it at 1.5 is because this is 3 inches across. 1.5 inches is the middle of the cardstock, okay? So we need it there. And then I'm gonna go over here again. And remember, we wanna put the tick mark where there isn't a score line. And so here it is, okay? So there's the middle of the paper. This is gonna be very important. This is the crucial point of this tote bag. So we've got score line, score line, score line, sorry, and there is the middle, all right? Now, this is what we're gonna do, all right? Hang on. We are going to take the trimmer and we're gonna use the scoring blade. I'm going to show this to you because I don't know how well you're going to be able to see me do it. But see that tick line there? I'm going to score it from that tick mark to this intersection right here. All right. Do you see these two score lines right here? I should have used lighter paper tonight and did not think about that. Okay. So you see where these two score lines cross? This is the middle right there. So that's important. Let me just put a little tick mark there, okay? All right. So there's the tick mark, and then there's a tick mark up there. And I'm going to score it from tick mark to tick mark, okay? The reason I'm doing that, see how it's scored? From the middle to the end. That way your box sides go inside of the bag. Okay, so that's the reason for that. And again, you may not be able to see me do that very well with our Stampin' trimmer. So I just wanted to show that to you. Okay, that's what we're working on. And I think we're ready to do the scoring now. And I'll try and zoom in if I can, okay? All right, here we go. So make sure you have your scoring tool and not the cutting tool. I've made that mistake before. And then what I'm gonna do is, you see this groove right here? Let me go ahead and zoom in. There we go. All right, I want that tick mark right on this where the blade goes in, okay? And then I also want it, that tick mark, right where the blade goes through, okay? Right where the blade goes through. Now this you're probably, let me zoom out just a little. So you have to keep working with your paper. Let me zoom out a little. Okay, so you have to keep working with your paper. You've got to make sure you have that tick mark there and that tick mark about right there. And then you score, okay? And so that's what it looks like, okay? And by the way, if it's off a little bit, it's okay, all right? All right, let's go back. We're gonna do the same thing again. Now, I didn't use a pencil this time, okay? I've done enough of them now that I can kind of figure it out. And there goes the other one, okay? So there it is, and there it is. Okay, we're gonna do the other one. And let's see, I've got that tick mark. I'm just doing the same thing, so I might do this one a little bit faster. All right. And then that and that. Okay. Now, what happens if you don't get it perfect? You're probably going to be fine. If it's way off, then just cut another piece of cardstock, okay? And by the way, when you start, use an old piece of cardstock. Try it out, figure it out, instead of wasting your current cardstock. And you're going to notice on this one that this one is a little off. See? You can kind of see, but that's okay. No one's ever going to know that. Same thing happened on this one. So it's just a little off here down at the end. And that really doesn't make that much of a difference. I think we're done with the trimmer. So now what I'm going to do is I am actually going to just cut it a diagonal. And I'm cutting right through that intersection. So see the intersection? I'm just kind of cutting up and cutting off the triangle. All right. So I'm going to do the same on this one. Just cutting through the intersection at an angle. Arlene, I think I make it look easy because I've made, I don't know, 50 of these things, I think. Oh gosh. Yeah, when I'm practicing making a brand new box or something, I use old cardstock that's retired. So I don't want to use my new stuff. I don't want to waste it. All right, so now we're going to take our tear and tape and we're going to move all the way down here right along that score line. Let me show you the score line. It's right there. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing down this side. And you can use your scissors if you want, if you don't want to tear it. And then we're going to go across right here. And this time I will use my scissors and I'm just going to trim. All right, so it needs to look like this. At this point, you can actually, if you want, you can bend those score lines and these two pieces come up, okay? And then this goes like that, all right? But you don't have to do that right at this point. You're gonna see how it comes together when we put the bag together, okay? So just hang tight. Don't panic yet, all right? No need to panic. And we're gonna do this one. And I think I'm pretty fast at this right now because I probably made, did I make 13 of these tote bags for open house? Something like that. So I was mass producing them for sure. All right, so look what I just did. I tore my cardstock a little bit on that end, but it's gonna be fine. No one's ever gonna know. So you can do your box sides like that if you want. These can get folded, but you'll see how it comes together in just a second, okay? All right, so those are the two sides. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on the handle, okay? So to do the handle, and I've already made one. I have no idea how this tote's gonna look, by the way. I've never used a circle. I've always done like ovals. I know we're gonna use the largest die, all right? So it would be that one. And then I'm gonna use this die right here, all right, like that. All right, and also we're gonna use this piece of Starry Night. So let me move some things out of the way so that we can get our Stampin' Cut emboss machine out. Now, how many of you have ordered your magnetic plate? Mine is on order. I cannot wait to get it. It is available now as of yesterday, and it is, excuse me, it's $28, I believe, in the United States. Okay. All right, I'm going to open this up. Again, I'm on a folding table, so y'all know that my camera's probably gonna shake. And what I am probably going to do is, since I don't have the magnetic platform here, I can either put the plate on and hold my breath as I roll it through, which I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to be fine with that. Not too worried about it. So I think it will work as long as the plate doesn't move it. We should be good. There we go. And then we'll just roll this all the way through. I'm so sorry the camera's shaking. All right. And now look what happens. This circle comes out. You can use it on a card, on a teacup card if you want. And then this is your handle. Okay, so we need 2 of those handles. And now I want to go back and look at the designer paper. All right, so here's my designer paper, and this is the front of my bag. And I know that my handle's probably gonna go somewhere like that. All right, so let me get a Post-it note. Okay, I know it worked out perfectly, didn't it? Yes, Rosemary, I hope you do make some. I think I'm going to make some for Mother's Day this weekend. Not that I need to make any, you know, because I have about 13 right now. All right, so let's see. What I want to do is I want to take a Post-it note, and I am going to take the large circle, okay? And I want to make a template, okay? I did this for the ovals and it worked great. And I want to do that again, and I'll show you what I mean. We'll put it about right there. It's about half of it. Now this I might have to take because it's not. There we go. Put that there, and we'll roll it through. There you go. Okay. And we just need 1 of these templates. Just need to make 1. You can reuse it over and over. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I use the sticky part of the Post-it. Okay, so that is important, and I didn't think to tell you that. The Post-it is stuck to my plate. So I'm gonna, there we go. Got that up. Very good. Okay. Now, this is gonna be our next step, okay? And you can use the ovals. What I'm showing you, you can use with any die, okay? All right, we need to go this way. This is the top of the purse. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this Post-it here. All right, and it's sticky. And then I do measure this, by the way. I don't eye it. So if I put the Post-it there, I've got 1.5 inches on this side. Let's see if I have 1.5 on this side. No, a little more on that side. So I'm going to move this. And I just keep moving this until I get this circle in the center. And I still don't know if that's going to be good. I put it in the exact same space. So let's just move it down a little bit. Maybe if I move it down to here, that looks off. That's 1 3/4, and that's less than 1.5. So this, once you do a couple of these, you'll be able to eye it. All right, let's see if we can't get this right. If not, the other thing I can do is to measure the center of the designer paper. All right, that's about 1 5/8. That is about almost 1 5/8. I think that's going to be good for us. All right, so we're going to say that's the center. I am going to take the die, okay? And I'm just going to lay it right along that edge, okay? And you can even come down a little bit if you want. All right, everybody got that? Okay, and then we just roll this through. Now, the die is staying because the Post-it note is kind of holding it in place, okay? All right. And I've cut both pieces, so we should be just fine. All right, so now both pieces are cut. I'm going to put the dies away so I don't lose them. And then we're going to be ready to assemble. All right. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do for our assembly, and by the way, you can even keep these little half circles and you might be able to find something you can do with those too, okay? All right, so here we go. The handle is going to go right there, okay? Just like that, okay? So yeah, so that circle does come out a little bit. I'm just checking this out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, 'cause like I said, I've never done one of these with a half circle, okay? I'm gonna put Tombow glue along the edge of that, okay? All right, and then I'm gonna take this handle, and I might have some glue that I'm going to need to wipe up. We'll see. Let's see. I just want to make sure it's sticking. So interesting. Very interesting. With the ovals, I find it, the ovals, I'll show you. So here's your outside oval. And if you look inside, I used the same thing with that Post-it note, and then the oval just kind of fit right in there, but it's not really doing that with the circle. So that's very interesting. It's still going to work. It's just going to be a little bit different, but that's going to be the front of our tote bag, okay? All right, so let me move that. I'm glad you like the template idea, Peggy. All right, now this time we're going to do it again. I'm going to get really close to this edging since we used the circle, okay? And let me find that other circle. All right, and then this one will go about right there. The nice thing about the Tombow is it's very forgiving, so if you need to move that handle, you can. And it's going to look about the same on that side, okay? But nobody sees the inside of the bag anyway. If you don't like this, cut another circle and you can glue it on this side, okay? And then you'll have that finished look on the inside. I have done that before as well. So instead of cutting 2 for handles, you would cut 4. Does that make sense? You would cut 4. I'm going to grab a wet paper towel. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. I've got a little bit of Tombow glue there, and I just want to get it off. I'm sure you can't even see it. There we go. Okay, so we're ready for the next step. Now we're going to work on the bottom of the bag, okay? All right. Oh, good. I'm glad. All right, so it does make sense. So yeah, you could finish off the inside of the bag by adding a circle on the other side and glue it again. All right, so what I'm going to do is, you see that tear and tape there? I'm going to add that right across that score line. All right, fold it and look what's happening. I'm getting a bottom of my bag. How cool is that? So I'm curious, I use Starry Sky. What color would you have used with the Tea Party paper? I had a really hard time deciding. I'd love to see it in every single color. All right, so here we go. We're gonna add the other side now. All right, and it's just gonna go right along the score line, just like that. All right. And then your handles meet just like that. All right, everybody with me? I'm not hearing anything. You must be taking notes furiously. All right. Let me grab a sip of water. That's the inside. Okay, we're ready for sides. We've got our two sides. And what I like to do is, fold your score lines. And then I like to take this piece here off the bottom flap and just pull that off. I agree, Peggy, it would be sturdier. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. With the oval handles, they feel very sturdy. But since this is happening with the circle, you might want to put another circle on over it. And that would kind of seal it up and make it sturdier. So I totally agree with you. And that's probably what I should do. But anyway, okay. So that side, let me show you how it fits, okay? There's the flap that I just taped in, and then there is the outside, okay? See that? So it fits right in there. I really should have used a different color cardstock because I've noticed with dark cardstock, it's hard to see score lines. So, hi Liz, how are you, girl? All right, so we're gonna do it again. Now here's the bottom flap. It has tear and tape. I'm on the inside of the bag and I am going to attach it, okay? And so now I have this flap. So both flaps are done. Now the next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and we're gonna take this piece off and let's see. All right, I'm trying to get in a position that you can see and that I can tape it together. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm bringing that designer paper here and I am closing up this side of the bag. I'm gonna do it 3 more times, okay? So you'll get to see it. So there's the side, all right. There's the side right there. And I've connected one side to the bag. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna tape the same side to this side of the bag, okay? And then I'll just bring this up. And again, we are just laying that along the edge and doing this. Oh, I know, it's really hard with dark paper. I'm very sorry, Sue. Did not think about that. All right, so there's one side. Now we have this whole side of the tote bag left to do, okay? All right. Oh, good, Mary Kay can see the score lines and Sue cannot. Nita, I'm with you, girl. Enforce the handles. And if I hadn't already kept you an hour, I probably would cut the circles and do it. Now, it's easier to go ahead and add another circle here on the inside. But after this tote is made, I can still do it, okay? You just have to get your hands inside the bag. All right, here we are. We're closing up the side. We want that designer paper right along there. All right, we'll close that up. And then I like to get in there. You can use your bone folder and get in there so that you can get that tape to stick. One last side, it's the very last side to do. So yeah, I'll probably go back and reinforce my handles. Easy enough to do. All right, last side. We're closing it up right along here. Oh, it would be, oh my gosh, that's so cool. It would be good, Gail. You can do those for your co-workers. All right, so that side is done. Now see, here's the side. All right, right there. And then we're gonna turn it over. And we have that one. And that, And actually, believe it or not, ladies, the handles are pretty sturdy, to be quite honest. They really are working okay. Oh, good, Sue. I'm glad. I'm glad you're not having trouble. Good. All right, I want to show you another trick, okay, before we go. And we're going to use our Stampin' blends to do it. I know I'm just keeping you forever tonight. I am sorry. We're going to finish up with some organdy ribbon. All right, now, I need your help. Do we want sweet sorbet ribbon with this, or do we want Orchid Oasis ribbon? All right. I'm going to be measuring about 13 inches of ribbon. That's about how much you're going to need. I love this stuff because you can make it any color. All right. I know the tea bag is precious, isn't it? I'm ready for Mother's Day, girls. Oh, Sue, I know you're not complaining. All right, Carol wants sweet sorbet. All right, anybody else? Yes, Diane, I'm so glad. Diane, you know if you make these bags, you have to send me a picture, right? You can message me. All right, we got a second sweet sorbet, so let's go for it. All right, when I color the ribbon, I like to start with the lighter blend, okay? So that's what I'm gonna start with, and then if it's not dark enough, I can darken it up with the dark. Oh, good, Gail wants sorbet too. All right, so this is how we do it. It's about 13 inches of ribbon, ladies. I use the brush tip, and I'm just coloring it, just like that. Okay. Now, once you color it, you want to give it a few minutes to dry. All right, so there we are. Isn't that pretty? All right, hang tight. We're going to do the other side now, just like this. I'm almost there. I think I got it all. Has anyone ever done this before? All right, sweet sorbet. All right, we're gonna give it a few seconds to dry, and see, it's dark enough. It's the perfect shade. So I always use the light blend first, and if it's not dark enough, then I add the dark blend, okay? That's all you have to do. I'm gonna give it a few seconds to dry, okay? And then we're gonna tie a bow with that ribbon. Just tidy up here for a few minutes. All right. All right, hopefully, I think it's dry enough. Usually what I do is I'll color my ribbon first, set it aside, make the project, and then tie the ribbon, all right? So we're gonna tie a bow. Yeah, Gail, I just did one side of the ribbon. It kind of seeps through. This is organdy glitter ribbon. I think this might be my favorite ribbon because I can make it any color. I know, isn't it pretty, Linda? All right. The ribbon is stiff though, okay? So it's gonna take you, you've gotta kind of fool with the bow a bit because it is stiff. I just colored one side of the ribbon, Arlene. All right. Oh, yay, Louise. I'm so glad you like it. All right, y'all. I'm just finishing up this side of the bow. All right, and I will be done. And we are going to draw names for those two cards. All right. Okay. And then what I do with this is, see that? I'm going to use a glue dot. And I'm going to put the knot, that knot, okay, just sticks to that glue dot. Nita, I'm so glad. Nita, where are you from? Are you here in the States? And then I'm just going to attach it to the handle. All right, now I'm not done because we got to trim this, right? All right. And I'll trim that. And I'm going to trim that. All right, now hang tight. You know what I'm going to do? There's our tote. What do you think? We did it. Oh, cool. You're in North Carolina. That's awesome. All right, look. Remember the teacup cards? They fit inside with envelopes, all right? Kimmy, I'm so glad you like the ribbon trick. How precious is this? You know what else you could do? You could put some tea in it, some tea bags. Wouldn't that be nice? And some biscuits or crackers or cookies to go with it. I know, it's such an awesome tote. I love the tea party paper. It's really, really pretty. So I'm so glad.